Haggling in Southeast Asia is my favourite thing to do, much more fun than any sort of shopping I've done in the West. And after this video, hopefully it's going to be your favourite thing as well. Well, why do I like haggling? It's a little bit of a dance, it's a little bit of fun, you're talking to people, you're working out what the prices are, you're negotiating, you win a little bit, you lose a little bit. It's a little bit like you're playing a bit of a game and you end out trying, both of you are trying to get the better of each other, and you end up hopefully both being happy and satisfied with what it is that you've got. And you get some really quality products and some really quality finds out of it. So where can you haggle first of all? Often it's these little shops, small to medium, especially the ones with big signs saying fixed price only or no negotiation. Yeah, that is a big tell. Negotiation. However, you can't always haggle. So big department stores sort of thing, that they look like a store out of the West, probably not, especially for brands that are very Western. Restaurants and things with like a fixed price menu, probably not. You'll get a bit of a sense the longer you're in a country, and don't be afraid to ask, like, how are you meant to know? So just give it a go and see what happens. A common strategy, however, is to, even if they aren't fixed price and they will haggle, being no, fixed price. So just be aware of that one. So the very first thing you need to do when you're haggling is you need to go and work out what the sort of price is that you can be expected to pay for the item. Because after all, if you don't know what the price range is, you're not going to know whether to pay 10,000 or 100,000 or a million, whatever the local currency is. You're doing it with a blindfold on, and if you're walking around with a blindfold on, you're going to hit things, you're going to get hurt. So there's a lot of different ways you can go and find this out. One of my favorites is looking online. So there'll always be online buying and selling platforms in the local country that you're going to. If you can find out the relevant one for the country that you're in, have a look. Just search up the item and see what sort of price ranges you're looking at. But be aware, there'll be different levels of quality. So take, for example, this rain jacket that I bought. There's a big difference between one-time disposable rain jackets and multiple use rain jackets. And again, there's differences within quality too. So just be aware of that one when you're going about this. Now, when you've gone and gotten an idea through online, talk to some people. People are your number one asset. So what I did, for example, when buying this rain jacket was I went and sat down after talking to the shopkeeper, and well, I wasn't very happy after I talked to the shopkeeper. So I went, right, I'm going to buy myself a mango smoothie. Went to the shop, sat down and struck up a bit of a conversation with the help of good old Google Translate as well, and was asking questions like, well, what's the normal price to buy a rain jacket? Got talking, found out things like, well, there's a big difference between your disposable one-time use and your multiple uses. The multiple uses, they come at the 1.2 or the 1.4 metre sizes, and there's a difference in price there too. Heck, the shopkeeper got to the point that she went and got several options, brought them there, told me what the regular price was, and she was happy to do the negotiations directly with the other shop for me. I even checked afterwards, I paid local prices. And that was really, really awesome. You can find that when you talk to other customers, that can give you an idea of the price as well, especially ones that are buying the product that you want. I personally find that old ladies are really helpful. They often like to sit and talk, and it might be fun for them to talk to someone that is of a different cultural background. I sometimes go to different shops and compare the prices that way. Or maybe where I'm staying, I might ask the people there. There's a whole lot of different options there. But once you're armed with that knowledge, then comes the fun part, negotiation. I had to have a big mentality shift. In the West, say I want to buy Nike shoes. There's a very limited number of stores that sell them, and they're quite a way apart. And if you use that mentality here, you're going to get burned. Here, if you walk probably 20 metres, you're going to go and hit more people selling the same thing. So don't be afraid to invest your time and shop around. Different markets as well have got different sorts of items that they might be selling. So here in Ho Chi Minh City, for example, Saigon Square Market is known to have slightly higher quality and higher priced items compared to some of the other markets where it can vary wildly, and you've got to keep a much closer eye on the quality and be sharper at negotiating on the price. So it helps. The more time you can invest into going to these different shops, the better. And as well, it can also be useful for negotiation tactics. If you're wanting to buy from one particular shop and you've heard a lower price at another, talk to the shopkeeper. Hell, you can even, if they're very close to each other, you can even pit them against each other. Make it a negotiation war. So there's all sorts of things that you can do like that. When I've been looking to go and get a moped ride, for example, if it's an area that there are different drivers and they might pull over, and this is in India, they might all be pulling over and be like, hey, do you want to ride in their local, it might be in Hindi or whatever the local dialect is, then often what I'd say is, this is where I want to go. I'd show them on Google Maps and I'd say, how much? Kitna ha? And I'd ask them all, kitna ha, kitna ha, kitna ha, and then I'd get them, if they wanted to win my business, the person with the lowest price ones. That could be a really good tactic. The other thing as well is when you're negotiating, let's say you're wanting to buy something like these shoes. You can first, I wouldn't go straight to the pair of shoes that you want and go, how much is this? What I like to do as well is, like, particularly if I'm only going to shop within one shop, I will go around. I'll say, how much is this? How much is this? How much is this? How much is this? Get a general sort of sense, all the shoes, what the prices are. As well, if I go in and it's very obvious that I want this one shoe, the price will often be quoted at a higher level. So there's a few little tips and tricks like this that you can play around with. Don't be afraid to point out bad quality as well, and be quite aggressive often. Well, at least in India, I don't know about other countries, you'd have to be quite aggressive with the negotiation and pointing it out, being like, no, that's not acceptable, and you need a lower price. So as well, you're never going to be buying the original product. So in a small village in Punjab in India, people are walking around with these Gucci t-shirts, and they're not original, of course, but you're not going to probably find any original Gucci things in India. You'll get your first copies, which are copies that are so similar to the original, it's hard to pick them apart, both in terms of looks and quality. Your second copies, which are copies that, yeah, you can spot them apart. The quality isn't quite as good, but it's decent. And third copies, trash, which pretty much will be thrown out within a couple of days. So you need to know when you're buying, you don't just look for the Gucci and go, Gucci. You want to figure out, is this the first copy, second copy, third copy, because that's going to massively affect the price. So when you're looking, pay close attention to detail for the quality. Things like stitches, seams, zips, the underneath, like soles, for example, from the case of shoes for clothes, look on the inside. All of these things are really important to give you an idea of the quality, and that tells you which level of copy it probably is, and that tells you the price you should probably allow. And don't be afraid to walk away. There's going to be another shop down the road. It's fine. No one cares. If one person's playing hard to get, try somewhere else. And if everyone's doing the same thing, maybe you need to go to a different market, or maybe you need to adjust your expectations and talk to someone about it. Locals are very, very helpful in this. So it's a bit of a dance. It's a bit of a game. It's a lot of fun going around and seeing what you can find that's interesting and what sort of price you can get. And it all feels like a bit of a dance and a bit of an achievement. And I really like it. It's a really fun way to buy things. Personally, it's my favourite thing to do when I'm in India or in Southeast Asia in general. It's just going around and enjoying the markets, enjoying the bartering. And hopefully now you're armed with the knowledge to make it your favourite thing too.